board. Let's call to order the City of Denison CVB Advisory Board meeting. Do we have any public comments? All right, we'll move on to items for individual consideration. Let's hold a report, receive report, hold discussion, take action on approving the minutes from our prior meeting on July 13th. You'll find those on page 3 of your packet.
I'll make a motion to approve the packet from the last meeting.
Thank you, Kathy. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Looks like those minutes are approved. Let's move on to 3B. Let's receive report, hold discussion, and take action on improving the post-project report provided by the Perrin Air Force Base Museum.
May I sit here?
Yeah, just move the microphone closer to you.
Okay. Is that better? Y'all hear me? Okay. Last year when we went through the training from the state lawyer about the hotel tax, we discovered that there was an element in the policy that allowed for maintaining, sustaining, and refurbishing monuments. And in finding that out, then we wrote a grant to refurbish, clean, and paint the mounting of the F-86 out at the regional airport. And we got requests for quotes, and they're all local suppliers that we got. And once we got our quotes, then we selected the best bid, the most appropriate, and we did do further negotiations to try to reduce the cost. We requested $3,550. We actually came in at $3,300. But one of our suppliers, the guy on the left that's doing the power wash, is really a small supplier and actually had to rent his scissor lift to do the wash, and they didn't have water supply. So they had like 2 water reclamation units on trailers, and we provided the water to them to do the washing. And it took about 5 loads of power wash to do it. Once that was clean, then the next supplier came in, and you can see on the left, you can see the stick is really, we call that a stick, y'all. It's probably, technical terms, probably a post, but we call it an aircraft on a stick. So that post goes up into that aircraft, but it goes as far as you can see it, like 10, 15 feet. There's that much underground in cement and steel because the aircraft weight, it has to be to sustain it in the weather. Well, it's a 4-step process to refinish that post. And in the heat and everything, they did it, and it looks beautiful. So we paid them on the day that they completed. And so our project is finished. It looks great. I think it's a good representation for our community. Does anybody have any questions about it?
No, it looks good. It looks really good.
Okay, I did put in there, we were $50 less than our grant. And we suggested that we use it to pay our water bill. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
I think that is fine and dandy.
Okay, well, we appreciate it.
All right, thank you for the report.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll receive a report, hold discussion, and take action on the Denison CVB Tourism 2026 cycle grant cycle for cycle 3, and we have a submission by the Denison Area Chamber of Commerce.
Do I have to stand up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on.
Oh, I'll approve.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just do this. There we go. Okay. What am I supposed to do? Because I haven't done this before. Just talk about what the grant's for? Okay, so this is for Fall Fest, and which brings, depends on who you talk to, anywhere from 35 to 40,000 people downtown. So we usually rely on the PD numbers, not so much on the AI numbers because they don't count everybody. But anyway, this is for the advertising portion of it. So what I put on the revenue part is for sponsorships and vendor sales. We do not have ticket sales. And we don't get anything from the car show. That's separate. We don't get anything from the nonprofit Kids Zone. That's now handled by Waples. So our advertising, we've already started placement on both radio stations to bring in vendors, and the TV station as well. We're on K10. We'll be on KXII here before long. The radio and TV, the TV stations are the ones that are most expensive, and they usually average about $1,500 to $2,000, depending on if we do all three or not, and if we are putting some in Sparklight. And then the radio stations, we do K-Lake, Katy Country, and then we do the ones out of Durant. I don't know what the country station's called, but the Buzz is the other one. The other one's 106 something. And then we also put them in, the Whitesboro has I forgot what she calls the country reporter, something like that. We put it there. We also have one in Paris that we put out. And then in the Texoma magazine, we have that. And then sometimes we'll do one in the Herald Democrat, depends. I was talking with Michael about it last week, and he's going to cover it anyway, but we'll just see how much money we have left for that. But that's what the $5,000 is for. And y'all have done that 2 years in a row, I believe, and it's been greatly appreciated.
Is K10 or K12 going to give y'all any streaming advertisements as part
K10 is doing they're doing some streaming, yes. Their streaming was, I have to remember no, that was the other guy. Actually, the radio station's doing some streaming.
Okay.
What's his name? Not Dave, but the other guy, Mad Rock. Mad Rock is only streaming now. So they're streaming quite a bit on Mad Rock.
Okay.
And, the funny thing is that the local radio station, which is what I consider the K-Lake people, they're 3 times as expensive as Durant. And so, we're doing the same amount, we're doing $750 at each one, but we just I don't put as much into that because it's local for most of it, except for the streaming. So we're putting it on their streaming for Mad Rock. And he said they have a really good listener base on that one. He said it's very popular. And then, of course, the Durant one reaches into Oklahoma and everything, so that helps a lot there.
Yeah, I'm just only asking that because the majority of the funds have to go to increase visitor
Yeah,
stays
and
and hotels.
I
so
will say
that's
in the
why.
last 2 years since we did it, we, according to the PD, we ran some of the numbers on the Placer AI, but we've seen the last 2 years, both years in a row, the stores told us that it was their best year ever. Mm-hmm. So we kind of feel like it is getting bigger every year, which I don't know how it can get any bigger, but we do see an increase, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
No? Do I have a motion to approve the grant? All right, Mike. Anyone second?
I'll second.
Natalie, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that grant is approved. You're welcome. All right, let's receive, report, hold discussion, and take action on the 2026 Discover Denison Visitors Guide. We have a printed sample along with your packet.
So we made a few changes since we last met. So obviously the front is different. We have a brand new cover photo
Yeah, I like
It
it.
really does.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
All credit really does go to Ashley. She is incredible. She designed this all herself in InDesign and took the majority of the pictures, went to the businesses to get the info. Like, she really did this like so incredibly, and it's gonna save us close to $30,000. Texas Monthly made it for Rachel in 2024, and with the cost of the design and her having to get 10,000 copies, it was like $30,000. And us making this in-house and just using Vistaprint to like print all the copies should only cost us about like $10,000 to $15,000, which is super exciting. And then doing it in-house will also give us the opportunity to release this more frequently than what she was able to. So we're just now down to our last box on the current visitor guides. So we'll be able to have more up-to-date information and release new visitor guides more frequently. We're hoping to do it twice a year, which will be great.
We have a motion to approve the 2026 Visitors Guide.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Kat and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The 2026 Discover Denison Visitors Guide is approved. Good job. All right, let's receive a report, hold discussion regarding the proposed amendments to Chapter 24, Taxation, Article 3, the hotel occupancy tax of the city's Code of Ordinance.
Perfect. So I don't have a slide for you, and I wasn't able to print anything because we ran out of ink, but basically, I'm just gonna give you like a rundown. So our current collection process is that we work with the company Avenue. Here, let me. We work with the company Avenue for short-term rental monitoring, compliance, and then tax administration. So if you own an Airbnb or Vrbo or any short-term rental platform, you have to collect taxes yourself as the operator, and then you have to remit them on the Avenue platform. So you have to be responsible for the 7% tax collection and then responsible for paying the city that 7%. So with that, we are unable to confirm like overall compliance for the city of Denison. So Airbnb and Vrbo and other short-term rental platforms don't provide us with any contact information for operators in the city. We are also unable to contact them directly unless we already have their contact information. They reach out to us or we message them through the platforms. So we are not getting 100% of the collections from the short-term rental operators, which is completely unfair to the operators that are paying. So we reached out to Airbnb and Vrbo to talk to them about creating an agreement to have voluntary tax collection from the platforms themselves. So what that means is if this ordinance gets passed by the city council, then the platforms will be able to collect the tax on behalf of the operators, and then they'll pay the city directly. So the operators will no longer be the middlemen that have to collect and pay. So this will include anyone within the city limits in our ETJ, and then the platform will remit one monthly payment, so it'll just be like a lump sum payment to the city that'll cover the hot tax for all applicable properties. So we no longer have to worry, like as a city, about the reporting for each individual property, because we know that each property will be compliant. And anyone that creates an Airbnb or Vrbo property on the platforms, that tax is automatically added if you're within the city limits. So there's no way to get out of paying this hot tax. And so this will take us from being like, we don't even know what percentage of operators are compliant to we will have 100% compliance for everyone on Airbnb and Vrbo, which will be just absolutely awesome. It'll increase our hot tax revenue, which will be great for the city, and it'll be great for what we as a tourism team are able to do as far as marketing the city as well. So the proposed amendments to the current ordinance, and I know y'all don't have it right now in front of you, so I apologize for that. But we defined what a short-term rental platform within the ordinance is. And so basically that means any person, company, or legal entity that provides a means through which an owner may offer a dwelling unit for short-term rental use from which the person and or entity financially benefits, including by facilitating reservations or collecting payments on behalf of the owner. So that verbiage was added, and then we are going to authorize short-term rental platforms to collect and remit the city of Denison hotel occupancy tax on behalf of property owners. And then it clarifies that if a platform fails to collect or remit the tax, then the property owner is still responsible for the payment. So if for some reason the platform has an issue and they're not able to collect the tax for that month, then we will then contact the property owner. And we won't recover the same tax twice. It'll still be recovering it just once. And then we'll just keep the current enforcement to short-term rental platform. So like what we already have for short-term rental owners that we're not currently enforcing, we'll be able to enforce that with both the property owners and the short-term rental platforms now, just because with this process being simplified, it'll be easier for us to enforce. So the platform will have a 90-day implementation period following the adoption of the ordinance, and then they will, the collection will be expected to provide full compliance for properties booking through Airbnb and Vrbo. I know there are other booking platforms, and we're trying to reach out to them too. And then we're also trying to reach out to the property owners that have their properties across multiple platforms. So if they have it on Airbnb and Vrbo, but they also have it on booking.com, they are then responsible for any bookings that they get from booking.com. So that's basically everything that it covers. We're hoping to go to City Council with this on Monday as a project update, and then based on their thoughts, we hope to get this approved on one of the September agendas. And then after that is the 90-day implementation period where the platforms at our city limits, and then they start the collection process. If you have an Airbnb or Vrbo, they will reach out to you directly to let you know that this process is going to start and that the tax will be automatically added to your booking. So if you have it manually added, you would need to remove it just to make sure you're not taxing people twice. But that's what we have going on right now. That's what we're working towards. We're super excited to get the 100% compliance. I think that's going to be huge for the city, and it's going to make everything fair for all of our short-term rental owners. And I mean, that's the biggest thing for me is the fairness. Any questions?
We did present this at council budget workshop as well already, so they gave us the go-ahead before we reached out to them. And although it was Jordan Bendia, they gave us a thumbs up on it, so we don't anticipate too many questions.
So have you started negotiating with booking.com?
No, I'm trying to find a contact to reach out to. They make it really hard to contact them. So I had to create like basically it's like a government portal. And now that I've created that, I should be able to chat with someone from their team. But they make it very difficult to contact them.
questions? It doesn't look like we have anything to vote on.
Nope.
All right, well, let's move on to director's reports. First off, we have tourism.
So I mentioned at the last meeting that we wanted to propose a tourism incentive to complement the existing tourism grant program. So basically, with the proposal, event organizers who generate a minimum of 25 bookings for an event or tournament would receive a reimbursement of $5 per room booked. So we reached out to our accounting team. They approved that this would work with our budget. So it would basically go under our special events line item in our budget, and we could provide up to $1,000 per event organizer in reimbursement. So that would be 200 rooms booked. So from an accounting perspective, we are good to go on that. If that is something that y'all would like to implement, I can add it to the September meeting budget for a vote, and then we could start that process in October. And I don't really want to market it. I just want it to be an added bonus for our event organizers that are applying for tourism grants as an extra incentive to really push hotel bookings. So it's not going to be something that we publish on social media like we do with the tourism grant applications. It'll just be an added bonus if an event organizer works hard to get hotel bookings and gets a minimum of 25 hotels booked, and they are able to confirm that with the hotels. Again, this wouldn't be anything for short-term rentals. I'm focusing strictly on hotels right now just for the initial implementation of it. But if that is something that y'all are interested in us moving forward with, I can add it to the next meeting agenda. Do y'all have any questions on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Righto.
Kat and I have been working very hard for the attractions committee, and our first meeting is next Wednesday at 1 p.m. So if you have received an email from me about that, we hope to see you at the George Tavern next Wednesday. We talked about what we wanted the attractions committee to look like, and our thoughts are basically each meeting we will have at a different venue and location so that the committee members can promote and highlight their attraction, and then that will help us overall better cross-promote each other. So again, the goal for this is to learn what all of our different attractions are doing, how we can help each other, how we can promote each other. So if someone is at the Horse's Axe and they're really they tell you like how much they love the Air Force and they have family members in the Air Force, you can tell them, well, did you know that we had the Perrin Air Force Base Museum? Things like that, so that we can really help each other and increase visitation to all of our attractions, increase overall visitation to Denison. So again, next Wednesday at 1 p.m. at the George Tavern. We're planning to represent Discover Denison again this year at the Texas State Fair, and then F1 races in Austin. And then our brand new website is officially live, so we're very excited for that. If y'all could review the site and provide any feedback. Right now we're in our 30-day punch day list, so if you notice any issues or things that are hard to get to or navigate, or it doesn't seem user-friendly, if you could shoot me an email on that so we could get that stuff fixed. Y'all as our business owners, museum partners and stuff, like, it's really important that our website's successful for y'all as well, and our users are able to find your businesses. So if you notice anything that you think would prohibit them from doing that, please let us know so we can get it fixed. And then again, applications for board appointments will open October 1st. So we have three positions that will open. Laura, I think it's Chamber of Commerce and then Sports Tourism and Lake Texoma Association. So, or I think Cindy's doesn't technically go out, like she could be reappointed, but I think she's gonna have Nancy Decker take her place for the Arts Council. And if y'all haven't met her, Nancy's the new executive director for the Arts Council. But right now we have 3 positions that'll be open. And that's all I have. Any questions?
No, ma'am. All right, up next is the director's report from Denison Main Street. Hello.
So we have the streetscape completion is getting nearer every day. Today they've got Main Street closed off for the festoon lights being put up, and that should be complete by 4 p.m. unless difficulties are encountered. The park has the gravel put down or the base rock for the turf, and I think most things in the park are complete, except for the sound system working and things like that. And there's some minor details, and also the firefighters' memorials are still being worked on. And then by August 18th, Burnett Street should be open. It will be September 18th before Fannin will be open. And so that was a delay that we just found out about. But the rest of it, we have some public art that's going to be added. So all that should be done. And I think that's all about streetscape unless y'all have any questions.
On the public art, is it a mural or?
No, some large letters.
Hmm.
And then the fountains are already, they haven't been, operable yet. And it's got a large D for Denison.
Is the alley, 400 block alley supposed to be done the same time as Burnett, or is it pushed out?
No, it was not going to be, well, yes, it was. But it will be done at the same time as
As Fannin, okay. Cool.
Yeah. All the days except for that. So, and utility had to get in there and do some work, and they were a little bit slower,
Mhm.
and so it just became more complicated.
Cool, no worries.
Yeah.
So when do you think the park will open?
So it will open after Fall Festival. We've got a mid-October date for it. My fear is that it will look finished, but it won't really be finished. There's some fine tuning that has to be done. It's not real visual that will happen after that. So people can look at it during Fall Festival, but they can't touch it.
Mhm.
We have our Rhythm and Rails Festival on September 12th, and that's in partnership, you did talk about that, didn't you? That's in partnership with tourism, and we have a real full schedule. I'm impressed with it. The businesses just gave us who they were hiring, and I would want to come But they can navigate. Yeah, and then, of course, the George and different things, so it's spread from one end to the other. And then we'll do tailgating with Parks and Rec at home football games. We host the Battle of the Axe on August 28th, is that right?
That's right.
And our wine walk is on September 5th, which is Labor Day weekend. As she said, our website's open too, so you can check out downtown Denison.
Tickets for the wine walk are open.
Yes, tickets are, you can buy your tickets for the wine walk. So Jordan may have to help me because I'm not sure how, what happened while I was on vacation, but we're trying to make it so that, let's say, the George is a tourism attraction and it's a downtown attraction, so it's on both of our websites. We're trying to make it so that it's one entry on the website.
Like a listing?
Yeah, yeah.
So when they initially did the like data pull from both of our current websites, like it took all active and non-active listings. And that's what migrated to our current site. So like there's duplicates, triplets, like all kinds of stuff for each listing. So right now we're trying to clean that up just from a user standpoint, so that you're not seeing like 3 George Taverns and there's not 2 that say the George Tavern, one that just says the George Tavern, and one that says Green Growler. So, like we're just trying to clean that up right now, but everything will look very uniform. All of the dining and shopping businesses will have a picture as your main image. And then we're also trying to work with them to find out when we can train y'all on how to update your listings yourself. So that was something that was promised to us that would be included in all of our trainings, and it hasn't been yet. So once we get that, we'll be able to teach you how to update your listings. So if you want to add a new picture, if you want to add menus, new hours of operation, if you want to add a new description for your business, you'll be able to do that. We just have to approve it, but then it'll be published. But everything will look very uniform and pretty on both pages.
Right now, there are a lot of duplicates.
Mm-hmm.
Driving me crazy. So that's my priority, is to get those duplicates cleaned up. And, events too. We want to make sure that there's one event for everything, and then we can both post it, or one of us can post it. So there's some fine tuning yet to be done, but the pictures are very good.
report, Donna. Do we have a report for Parks and Recreation? An update, okay. Chamber of Commerce, I hear they just got a grant. Just in time. All right, and then do we have an update for, or a report for DDI?
Sure. We have 3 events left for the year. The upcoming one is Harvest Sweets and Eats. And kind of similar to our other ones, every business is encouraged to participate by having sweets or fun fall, like releasing all their fall things, basically. And there will be like a Scrabble treasure hunt kind of aspect to it with a $200 giveaway, so that should be fun. Our Dads and Drafts did really well. That was a really fun event. After that, we have Zombie Crawl, and then we'll have the Small Town Christmas, and that will end the events for the year.
Are you overlooking Thanksgiving at DDI?
You're right, we are. There's too much going on.
All right, Arts Council, no update. LTA, they got moved in. All right, LTA? Nope. Eisenhower? No. And then Perrin Air Force Base Museum.
Just 2 things. This is our 85th anniversary for the opening of Perrin Field, and we will be doing a celebration on Saturday, November 7th, which is also Veterans Day parades and things. So just to let you know, we're in conjunction with that. No?
It's Veterans Day Parade's November 14th.
Okay.
They changed it this year to not be on the same day as DIA. So DIA is November 7th.
Okay, thank you for, I'll let our people know, but we're still gonna go November 7th. Okay. About a year ago, we had a veteran give us an endowment to manage, and it's to provide scholarships for veterans that are trying to become commercial pilots, like for United or Southwest. And we have a process for giving those scholarships. And we're giving our first 2 scholarships August 25th to 2 veterans from Southeastern. There's a great aviation program up there. So, if you want to come visit, let me look at my schedule. If you want to be there for that event, please come. It's at 1 o'clock on the 25th. That's all.
All right, thank you for your report.
I forgot one thing. We are introducing a new app called Open World Discovery. It will be an opportunity for visitors to come up and participate in challenges. They'll get rewards for going to different businesses, shopping, eating, museums, all of that. You don't have to actually like download the app to be able to participate. Like you can use your web browser, but it's called Open World Discovery. They're going to officially launch on August 19th, but we are going to do an event at Let Us Indulge on this Saturday on the 15th. So there will be some different challenges and puzzles that he's going to have specifically for Let Us Indulge. And then he'll have like rewards and gifts and stuff too for anyone that wants to participate. So we're excited for this. If y'all could just go ahead and take a look at it and try some of the challenges and adventures, just so we have like a week to go over anything that seems too difficult or doesn't make sense. It just so I can go ahead and give him that information. But we're really excited for this. All of y'all's businesses will be on it, and then museums, everything. So we're excited for this. And it was completely free to us, so we get to try this for several months for free. And then if we think that it's something that we want to move forward with, then we'll talk with them about having a paid partnership. But right now, it's free to try out.
Said open world discovery?
Is it the Click World Discovery? Because the only ones I'm seeing is Polymarket, Click World Discovery, and then some games.
Yeah, I can see the website, exploreopenworld.com for open world discovery.
And then the locale is Denison.
Yeah, they're all over the place, so.
All right. Then at 2:50, let's adjourn the CVB meeting for the city of Denison.